Don't love your job. Job your love.
Working title, casual chats with fellow creators.
Working title, episode 3. Guys, welcome. Squishy Joshy and SinghstarFusions. We're going to be discussing what it means to start a new channel. A good topic to talk about, especially for like people that are interested in starting like a YouTube channel or a TikTok channel or anything of this sort. So I thought we'd just have a casual chat. That's what this whole segment's about. Working title, casual chats with fellow creators. We've got SinghstarFusions over here, who has been my friend for quite a long time now, almost about a decade now.
More than
a decade. If you consider the years between when we graduated college and now, it's
even before then.
Exactly. 2012 basically to
about 13 years, man. 13, 14 years.
Crazy.
Well, the sun decides to come out now. which is good.
We've got hats on.
Hats,
you know, sun protection is important, guys. SPF 50 plus. You know what it is.
Especially in this summer.
Maybe we should have Squishy branding sunscreen. You know?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Just like those ones that you can keep in your pocket and take it out.
Exactly. And it's got to be like the squishy stress balls.
Oh yeah.
It should be like that, but then like
with sunscreen filled in it.
Yeah.
So every time you squeeze it,
and it has like the little logo on it. That would be pretty cool. I mean, if you want to be thinking outside the box.
You know what? Actually, like my wife uses a lot. Like those makeup sponges because they're squishy as well. So you can get like a squishy Joshi.
That's interesting. Like, I wonder if anyone has ever thought of making a sunscreen in that way.
Yeah. Or even sort of like.
That just reminded me of. That interview. It's like, don't job your love. Don't love your job. Job your love. If you guys have seen that reel, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Good.
But
so back to what we were doing, starting off as content creators. Like Josh, you've been in the game for quite some time. From like basically uni days as well. You were quite active and creative. From even high school. Even before then. Even before. Like I was constantly making stuff since probably 2004. When I first had my first webcam, a really old Logitech. There was actually a button on that webcam. When you press it, say for example it was filming, and you press the button, it would take a still photo. That's how old it was. It's quite old.
And it wasn't even like the Logitech one that was like a ball camera that's on a stick. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, I remember those ones.
But no, it was not. It wasn't even that. It was even older than that. So I was making things like Lego stop motion.
Nice. Yeah.
So just like sort of moving the Lego characters a little bit at a time and creating like little animations of that. But I've always been a creative person, creating content.
So like meeting you back in uni times, we kind of were in that creative field, but like I wasn't as much as you were. You were more into it, making your videos, your music especially. Like you're very big on your music, and you're very big on like blending all your favorite contents into one. I remember one time a while ago, do you remember we did a pack opening at my house?
Yes.
We sat in the garage and like there was 4 of us and we full recorded it and did a pack opening of a booster box for Yu-Gi-Oh!
That video is
like
still somewhere out there. It's like it's like unlisted. But like every time I go back to it, it's a cracker.
So it's hilarious because that's basically how we are. There's nothing that was faked. Everything was like natural. And
all natural.
That's how it is. I
feel like this is a proper conversation. We understand each other. We know the sort of things that we're into and stuff. But when it comes to so guys, just so you know, we're at PAX right now. We're in Melbourne for PAX Australia, and
as you can see,
as you can see, we've got our badges and whatnot. This is a content creator badge for ANZ creators. We've been here, and I see so many familiar faces. I see so many people that I've come to know online. But when it comes to seeing them in person, it's a whole different vibe. Sometimes it's harder to communicate, and we're all kind of just normal people. But at the same time, there's that sort of barrier. It's like, okay, how can I talk to you? But with Sagar, with a couple of my other friends who are also here, I don't have that as much. I feel like I can be myself a bit more, so that's what's really good about that whole experience, especially of knowing you for so long as well.
And the other thing is like, especially with those creators, they sometimes get swarmed by people, and you don't want to be like that kind of.
You don't want to be that guy that's kind of like getting in their space.
Getting in their face, getting in their personal space kind of thing.
And trying to be where they are all the time.
Yeah, like for example, like there are so many people that we've seen here that you've followed and stuff like that, and like it's great they're out and about, but I pretty much they'll probably want to do their own thing as well, like we did today. Like we went our separate ways and stuff.
So much stuff we've done.
Yeah,
like, we've got these little like eBay bags,
like prizes and stuff as well.
This guy got Lorcana, a really rare Lorcana thing there. And you might actually see some of that on his channel, which we're going to actually talk about.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of this, like sort of casual chats. We want to see if we can like spruik some ideas and stuff like that. And the main one that we wanted to sort of talk about today was, you know, starting your own channel, or what it means to be like a new or starting creator.
Like the process and what
exactly. And for you, you're kind of like starting on a blank, clean slate.
Yes.
And someone like Jelly, for example, who we'll talk about later, and we'll actually do one of these with her as well. She's kind of been also in the game for a while, but I don't think she quite considers herself a creator to that extent. Like, creator is sort of this new term that people have sort of just built from the ground up. Like, at a point, it was like influencer. Like,
it still kind of is.
Still kind of is, and they both have their own kind of meanings.
Well, it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like, with being a content creator, being someone that consistently pushes out content and consistently posts and videos. While influencers, they're more product-based, more sort of like
trying to sell.
They're selling themselves to you pretty much. Whilst the content creators selling, like they're not even selling anything. They're just showing
making something, and if it happens to advertise something in the process, then it's like a bonus.
Yeah. So like a lot of them start off as like content creators, and then they go up into influencers, and then
maybe even working with brands.
Yeah, working with brands and go from there, and then being sponsored and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how it works pretty much. But then that's what they're doing. Like their main and whole goal is to promote that brand or promote that product or something, and then get you guys hooked onto it and stuff like that. But yeah, back to the main thing, like starting off, like you said, I'm starting off at like a blank state and kind of got ideas on what I want to do, and then going back and forth with you in regards to, hey, you know, this is one thing that I really appreciate, having someone like Josh, because throwing ideas at him and he can come back with, oh, how about this, or how about you try to do it this way, you know, never discouraging and saying, no, it's never going to work. It's more like, hey, let's try this way, try that way.
And if it is, it's like, I'll explain the why.
What's the reason? And then same thing with you as well. You've come to me and other people multiple times and said, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you reckon? Or I'm thinking of trying to start off this kind of series or start off this venture. What do you think? You know, like your YouTube channel where you've got like a gaming, music and all that stuff, but you've categorized them, you know, and that's something that you didn't do before. And then you asked around, and you know, that's something that was and that's what I've got. I've got you to ask around. I've got other people as well. But starting off, I'll give you the breakdown. Being new to this, obviously, I'll tell you straight up, got a couple of ideas, which is great, but I think it comes down to picking one and having that as your main focus. And then sort of build on that, and then add more to it. You know, like what do you reckon?
So there's this whole discussion that we can get into about like niching onto one specific thing and then just making that your thing. And for a lot of people that works. Well, I used to want to do even more than what I'm doing now, but I've kind of pulled back. I've kind of separated things out into a more clear-cut path. So my whole branding is like Creative Vagabond. It's variety content, right? You're getting a variety of content, but if you think of things in the perspective of like a frog, and there's lily pads of different interests, and I'm like hopping between each one. So it's like one is games, one is film, one is music and design.
But with you, your thing is, your brand is you. It's
and that's
pretty
what I'm
much
trying
like,
to market that. Now, for you, sort of starting a new channel, and you want to kind of figure out what you want to do you want to be attending events like this in future as a creator? That's
one thing as well. Like for me, it comes down to like a lot of people have said this, and you can look at a lot of people, like I've listened to a lot of podcasts and interviews of these content creators. The main thing is commitment. Like if you're not committed to it, then there's no point going further ahead. Why I'm taking so long to start, and I'll tell you my journey as well. Like for me, I've been looking looking into getting into this for quite a while. I've been going back and forth with Josh for many years now, right? The reason why I haven't pulled the trigger yet is because I wasn't committed. You know, I haven't been committed to start it off, had ideas and stuff like that, but you know, things get in the way, you know, life gets in the way, and you kind of have to put a pause on it and then come back into it. At the moment, I really want to get into it and try to find something that works with my life, with my commitment, but you don't need all the fancy tech to start. You don't need all the, you know, the thousands of dollars of equipment and all that stuff. You can simply start off with a phone and stuff, and that's what I'm doing currently, which is getting that idea of what I want to go down. And Josh suggested something pretty interesting, which was you like cooking. Why don't you start something with cooking and then introduce a bit of pop culture into it and then go from there, you know, which is something not a lot of people do. And it's kind of unique, you know.
It's good to find that unique idea, and then also I know you don't also want to be just down one thing as well. You might actually really love cooking, but part of you wants to do content in gaming and pop culture and stuff like that as well. So it's always this sort of balance of like, what can you output quickly and effectively?
What's easy to do?
What's easier to do?
What's something that you can consistently do? Like come home and come cook dinner with me quickly. Like make a quick simple recipes under 5 minutes or something like that.
And because you also like gaming, how do you tie the cooking stuff into gaming? So it's kind of like, I'm about to get into a gaming session. Let's cook a quick meal in like 5 minutes.
Or something simple like, I thought of this thing a while ago. Something like, can I make this thing while I load into a game? Simple like that. You know, that's something unique and different as well. But getting into it, it comes down to that.
Yeah, we're going to continue this conversation later on because we do actually have a thing to attend. So see you in the next cut.
Actually, before we continue the conversation, something happened.
Alright, we're back.
We're back. So we were actually going to go back inside for a panel, but apparently
someone pulled a firearm
and everyone's being evacuated. So we're just gonna
have a chill and talk.
Well, first we're gonna figure out what's going on,
happening.
And we'll continue this conversation real soon. And we are back. How that last night, eh?
Oh, mate.
We went to the Twitch after party and we're definitely feeling it this morning.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But we've all got to check out of the hotel and go our own ways, and we'll meet back up in Sydney. But I thought we'd just quickly, you know, before you go, wrap up where we were.
Yeah, pretty much like, last night's Twitch after party, it kind of showed like, we're not as, when we were first like 18, 19, 20, bro, we could just go all night. Now we're a bit older, you know. It's, we're not going all night like we used to. I was surprised. It's like we did pretty well. We did pretty well. But continuing from the chat from yesterday, we ran into quite a lot of people that had some good advice on how to start, and so many different people had so many different kinds of advices and stuff like that. But the main thing it came down to was like consistency, like how often are you doing it and how often are you getting that viewership kind of thing. And that got me really thinking, like, what's something that will capture, like, an audience and keep them engaged? And we ran into some people, like, they were doing IRLs, like, and then, like, they were saying how they've got their setups and they stream for, like, 6 to, like, God knows how many hours they stream. And then we ran into some other people which were like, this is what I do and this is how I do it. We ran into, is it Natsu?
Natalacy.
Natalacy, And she's got like a schedule that she follows, you know. She's regularly streaming.
Calculated.
Streaming on certain days or making content on certain days. And then it's interesting to figure out like how these guys are doing it kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, because majority of the people I spoke to as well, not everyone does it full time.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that have like a 9 to 5 and then do this as a hobby on the side kind of thing.
So you met a couple people at the Twitch event last night, and we also saw the panel that Nat was a part of, and each of those sort of things gave you some ideas.
Yeah, so like after we ended the chat yesterday, we went to a panel of content creators, and then they were talking about like how their schedules are and what are they doing, how they're streaming, and majority of them are like, you don't need all the fancy stuff. You can just, as long as you have a phone, you can just shoot and edit everything on that and just upload it straight away. I got a lot of things from it. It was great. But yeah, a lot of ideas. How did you feel about yesterday's panel as well?
No, it was good. It was good to see the way that other creators sort of think and their process behind creating videos and stuff. Obviously there's things I was like, okay, interesting, they do it like that. And then there was also things like, oh, I don't know if I would do it like that, you know?
Yeah, like from my perspective, it was more learning how they were doing it, the process. Whilst for someone like you, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. So just a bit of context. There was a couple of content creators divided up into teams, like A and B, and then they had to make a reel, like a 30-second reel. They called audiences to come participate and everything like that. So it was interesting to see there was two different types of reels happening. They weren't the same, which was really cool. Seeing the processes of how they were doing it was great. And then something that really was very interesting that you pointed out and Phil Meister pointed out was you guys already knew which one was going to be more popular. And for me, I didn't pick up on it because it's something that I haven't started doing and stuff. So you picked up on it quite quickly and you said, oh yeah, Team B's, theirs is much better. And then you gave the reasons why. At the end, it made sense. It was kind of true. So basically, Team A felt like it was all over the place, and it was just too many camera movements and too many cuts here and there,
and then a long bit of text.
Just bit of text that was covering half of the screen.
Yeah, and it wasn't like broken up like Team B.
Yeah. Like basically, this text was like literally covering half the screen. So like, what am I watching? What is this? You know? And that's something that you pointed out. You go, oh, this would have been better if they just shortened it. Team B did sort of like a Pokemon concept, but it was quite cool. Like, you know, just watching their process, how they do it and stuff like that. But yeah, it was very interesting. Definitely learned quite a bit and everything from there. Yeah.
Well, we're obviously talking about like what it means to start a new channel and build up your following and being a creator in general. What sort of things have you thought of so far in terms of where you want to start? Yeah,
so one thing that I've really have been thinking of is like I'm very big into food and cooking and stuff like that, and I want to do something like that. Combine it with like, you know, your pop culture niche and gaming and movies and all that. It's more like I want to like cooking. I want to keep as the base of the channel. And then splash in like gaming and pop culture and stuff in there, you know. For me, I think having a base would be good, like something that I can quickly focus on and do, you know, 5-minute recipes, something that's sweet, easy, short. And start on those things, you know, because I don't have to think about it and stuff like that, because I've already know how to do it and stuff, and I pretty much, and then add in that gaming stuff. For example, if I stick to the cooking, I'll succeed in it more. But if I do cooking, gaming, movies, TV shows and all that mixed together, I don't have a base and I don't know what to do at each time. So like getting ideas on like, okay, if I start off by reactions, like you suggested, was like just react to people making something, or like see if you can make whatever they're making, but put your own twist onto it and stuff like that. There's an idea that I really want to start doing is if I get into it, I want to make a series on are you able to game while eating this certain food? You know, like could you imagine like you're gaming and trying to eat like a bowl of ramen and something like that? So that's something like cool. Or another thing I wanted to do was, what meal can I cook while my game is loading? Because I'm pretty sure like majority of the people want quick and easy things so they can just get back to doing what they want to do, you know? So like I think that's the path I want to kind of go down.
It'd be interesting to see how you implement all of that together.
That's what I mean. Like I'm kind of trying to start off in regards to, why don't I just set up 1 or 2 cameras here and there and then just record, then go from there, you know? It comes down to like having a plan and executing it that way, you know what I mean? From hearing from a lot of other creators, some just go with the flow and whatever they want to do. and then some are very strict and scheduled and follow a certain criteria in the way that they make content. And I feel like I'm kind of a person that's more scheduled and like I'm not a go with the flow kind of person, because if I do that, I'm just going to be like lost. There's no structure. For me, I think I'm going to be good with like a structure or something like that. Mondays do reaction videos, Wednesdays do a quick recipe, you know, like have that kind of schedule upload. So then I know, okay, cool, so I have to record a reaction, and then I have to record a recipe, and then I have to record you know, making food from a game or something like that, or making a game inspired dish or something like that, you know. That's like a schedule that I would probably stick to, and then slowly but surely replace one of them with like a gaming stream and stuff like that.
That just gave me an idea. You could always do something like a reel or a short or whatever, like a vertical piece of content. You can just be like, gaming inspired dish number 1, and, and that's the intro line, and then you just throw the dish onto the screen. So that's the first thing that people see, and then you have a couple clips of you actually making it. And then because it will loop back to the start,
it's just like a consistent loop.
It could be something like, and that's how you make gaming dish number 1, and it like
just
moves
keep
back.
going. That's a great idea. See, something like that I can do, but it's just the execution. So this is where I think personally, if you are starting off, it will be great if you do have someone, a friend, a family member, or a good mate that does this on a regular basis, you know, like that makes content, that does all these things, and then you can bounce back ideas and get help in like, how do I film this? Because I guarantee I'm going to contact Josh multiple times and be like, hey mate, how does this look? And his feedback is really important because he knows what he's doing. He can definitely help me out and sort it out for me. It just comes down to pretty much once you're ready, just start doing it and go from there. And then hopefully you build up that, you know, fan base and have like that kind of people that follow your content and, you know, react to it and build up that sort of loyalty as well.
For sure.
So for me, first thing to start off with is I've got my idea, I've got my base. Now just sort of make a schedule and because again, like I said, like I don't have much time to do all of these things. So like I could possibly knock out a few videos in a day, but then upload them.
So that's what I was just about to mention. Like there's a thing that people do in like the batch stuff. So like batch editing, batch recording, stuff like that. So for me, when I do my reaction videos, I generally do like 4 or 5 in one sort of sitting, and then edit them over the course of a couple weeks, and then have them upload over time as well.
I mean, because we both work, this is not something that we're doing full time. It's more when we have time we do it, and we both work, and totally understand, because you want to make those reaction videos because you've only got a certain amount of time to make them. And then same thing with me, like that's what I'm thinking of, doing batch videos and then going from there pretty much, and then seeing what we can do and how to upload. I'm going to be a bit controversial here. You gave me the idea of just typing it up on ChatGPT and getting some like ideas on how to do it, and to be honest, it's amazing. Like you don't have to follow, like they'll give you mad ideas and stuff, and then they'll tell you what's the best recommendation on starting out and stuff like that. And going back and forth with Josh again, ChatGPT recommended do shorts and then upload like at least 1 or 2 short reels and then 1 short to medium video, and then just that's 1 week of uploads, you know. And then once you get the hang of it, you can increase the reels to 3 or 4, and then you can start doing longer videos, you know, once a week or twice a week you're uploading, and it's great. Like I also asked it, like, can you make it a schedule for me on like how I should start and what should I start uploading with? And it was pretty interesting the way it came up with the ideas, but then it was like, I really don't want to do it like that. I want to do it my way. So I got some good ideas from it, but it's definitely worth checking out. Definitely go on ChatGPT and, you know, get some suggestions from them.
Just get it to like spruik some ideas, and like you said, you don't need to follow it like 100%. It's going to do a very systematic kind of thing, and it will probably spit out stuff that's been spat out to a bunch of other people who have also done the same thing. Some people probably won't even admit that they use ChatGPT. But at the same time, it's like identifying which of those little pieces of information it gives you and seeing how you can put your own spin on it, or if you can do it better than what it says. It might give you an okay idea, but then taking that okay idea idea and being like, I know how to make that even better. And then throwing that into the mix when you start your first video.
Yeah, like it's great for like getting that idea because I didn't know where to start off from, and then it told me where to start off from, and then I'm like, okay, cool, this is what I'm thinking of how to do it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to try to follow that. It's going to be me that's going to be making these videos and putting my twist on it and putting my spins on it and stuff like that. Like I said, ChatGPT is great for starting off, but I don't think you should like rely on it.
No, exactly.
I don't think you should rely on that, because if you're just going to rely on that, it's just you're a robot. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's gonna be bland.
Yeah, it will be.
It'll be very stale and very bland. Because when I was reading it and I'm looking through it and I'm like, this is quite interesting. But then everything is like, make a reel about this recipe, make a reel about a reaction video to someone, make a review, and I'm like, what am I like doing? It doesn't specify in regards to that kind of thing. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I just thought another sort of reaction type content you can make is like reacting to professional chefs making things like not right. So for example, let's say Gordon Ramsay, he's saying like, I'll show you how to make an actual like butter chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you watch it, react to it and see if it's actually like how it should be made. And if it's not, you can like offer critique and be like, that's not how you make a butter chicken.
I don't think I'm gonna tell Gordon Ramsay how to make food.
but that's something. That's an example. That's an example.
No, but like I know what you mean. But like I'll give you a process as well why I want to go down the cooking path line as well, is because growing up I learned from my grandmother, from my mother, from my dad, how to cook and stuff like that. You know, my dad was a chef in his early days, so he was a chef at like a few hotels and stuff like that. And so then I learned techniques and learned basic things that can go in every single recipe, and then learning from my grandmother how to make like traditional Fiji Indian kind of food, and then went to school, did food tech, so I learned the nutrition side of it, the theory side of it, and learned how food affects people and psychologically speaking, like sometimes the best thing is like home food, and why is home food really important, because you know like I've learned all that kind of things, and so I want to, and then I start writing recipes down as well. I used to watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. There used to be a guy, I don't know if you know him, he's called Ansley, Chef Ansley. He's this funny British
Ainsley. Harriet?
No.
Oh, okay,
it was like this British guy.
I thought it was the guy that has the olive oil, and he's like,
it's the guy.
Okay.
And he's like, let me rub it in. He's got like that British accent and stuff. He's good. Nigella Lawson, she's amazing.
It's all British chefs.
It's all British. And then slowly like taking their recipe but making it my own kind of way, because you have to realize some stuff that they use we don't get here, and some stuff that we have to substitute it, because again it's something different here in Australia over in like America or Britain and stuff like that. And then right now with TikTok and all that stuff, there's a lot of food creators out there and making recipes and stuff like that, but that's different. Like they're doing professional, semi-professional thing. All the TikTokers that I see that are doing cooking and recipes and stuff like that, they all worked in a kitchen. They all have professional skills and stuff like that. I've never worked in a kitchen. I've never had that kind of thing. I'm more homegrown kind of thing. Like
it's like homeschooled
kind of thing. Pretty
cooking.
much. Yeah, exactly. There's a million ways to make eggs. There's so many different ways to make noodles, pasta, a chicken dish. But trying to combine that side with pop culture, gaming, movies, stuff like that, it's kind of interesting. For me, going down that path, I think it's going to be fun. I don't think I'll be exhausted, you know. I'll get fatigued by it. Yeah.
And you can keep jumping around between things while keeping the core of your content in cooking.
Exactly. If I keep going with it, I don't, like I said, there won't be any fatigue behind it or anything like that. Hopefully we can go from there.
So TikTok is an interesting one. Well, like any sort of short form content in general, if that's sort of the path that you're thinking of starting in, obviously attention span and like retention and all that sort of thing really plays a big part in growing the audience, because obviously everyone's attention spans aren't as they used to be. And we were in Nat's panel earlier, and one of the guys was saying basically that humans have a smaller attention span than than goldfish now.
Yeah, which is
So-
like, yeah, that was just funny to me.
So with that sort of in mind, how are you going to be taking that cooking content and engaging an audience? That's something you got to think about.
That's something that I have to personally be like, okay, cool, how do I do this and how can I keep them engaged and what's the one thing that's going to hook them so they're going to stay and watch, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of like scrolling and leaving it kind of thing. Trying to plan that out is something where I'm going to be going back and forth with myself, with you, with other people. Because I think from starting off, I think that's the best way to start off. Because if you can make a video on TikTok, you can easily put it onto Instagram and YouTube straight away.
You
So
can
then
put them across multiple.
yeah, exactly. And then you don't have to worry about formatting it to a different thing. And then once you get the confidence, then you can start making more longer videos that you can upload to YouTube and then just have clips of it on TikTok and Insta.
We were talking about like Gordon Ramsay and all those famous chefs. Now, obviously, they're all characters, right? Like if you think about where they are positioned in the cooking space, you know, they've been around for a while. They've got their history of being excellent chefs, and they all have some sort of like interesting
story
or characteristics to their personality. Like charisma plays a lot of things into these kind of videos, and you'll probably find over time that you are almost creating a different side to your persona when you start doing these videos, because you'll find that when you start pushing yourself a bit more to exert your energy into these videos, like you might do a louder voice than you're normally used to, or you might, you know, do some like hand movements or gestures or whatever it is to really sell the video a bit more. Like if you're just going to sit at the camera and you're sort of like this and you're just talking monotone like that, and then
it's going to be hard for someone
to connect. That might be an instant swipe for some people. So you really got to think how you can basically create yourself as this character that has the energy to not only just do the content that you want to do, like the cooking and all that, but also keeping people engaged and enjoying the whole experience.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's something that I have to work on and try to do. But you're not going to know if it worked or not if you don't post. If you don't post.
One of the best advice is just to do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
I bumped into an old high school mate while at PAX, and he was kind of talking about how he wanted to pivot from what he's currently doing. He wants to get more into like the creative field. He wants to do like something in either music or art or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? I struggled with the exact same thing. Blah blah blah. So we're having to catch up. And you're never gonna know unless you do it. Like so, just do it. Just post. And maybe your first 5-10 videos are not going to be as great. Maybe someone in the comments is going to troll you and complain. But don't let that get you down. Never let any of these comments get you down. Never even let the good comments inflate your ego as well.
Oh yeah. That's
so
a good thing,
you just want to be sort of neutral about it, but like, you know, enjoy your wins. And
because that's something like starting off, that's something that I've been thinking about as well. It's like, what if nobody watches, and what if, you know, everyone gives like negative stuff, things like that. Yeah, because that's another thing that kind of plays in the back of my mind is like, what happens if I don't get that audience and kind of thing. But I don't know because I haven't posted anything, so I can't give you a definite answer.
One thing I will say is when you start to see some engagement, let's not count like likes and stuff. Let's talk about like people commenting. When you start to see that, and if you see someone coming back often, or maybe saying something like, oh, make this next, or like when they start like recommending stuff they want to see, that's probably when you know you're on a good format. I had this thing where I used to do logos from memory, and you probably remember that. You probably remember that. That's one of my sort of earlier content series, and I would batch record it and then upload them as like reels or shorts or TikToks, and like as they sort of uploaded, it was quick and easy content for people to digest. And because they're like logos and people recognize logos, they want to see if someone such as myself, who's a designer, can actually redraw it from memory,
from scratch,
and especially if it's not a logo that you see often,
something you're unfamiliar with,
or something I'm unfamiliar with. Like at the time before I got into Formula One, I didn't really know Aston Martin logo. I just knew it had wings,
but how?
Yeah, exactly. And then now I'm into Formula One, I can probably draw it better, but at that time I didn't. So you notice in those kind of videos, because they were so quick paced and easy to engage with, you'd have so many comments being like, oh, please do this logo next, please do that logo next.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just as easy as just recording and like, because I did it in a batch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something to be mindful of. It's like, if people start suggesting stuff like that, it's like, okay, you've probably got a good format.
Yeah, you've got a good viewership already.
Then not even like viewership, it's just like, you've got a good format.
Yeah.
Stick with it, keep doing it. It might burn you out, it might. But you know,
you got to stick with it.
Yeah,
but
if the fans want it,
you got to take it.
That's right. So yeah, so we'll probably wrap it up there, guys. It was good to discuss what it sort of means to start a channel and the different things that you can do, whether it's creating ideas or being engaging for the camera. And yeah, I hope you got something out of it.
Definitely, 100%. Like, it's been quite eye-opening as well, and like, I know what I want to do, and I know how I'm going to start it.
Yeah.
It just comes down to just put it out there, pretty much.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to go tomorrow and make a reel kind of thing. No. It's, for me, I'm going to take my time once I'm ready. I know what I'm going to do once I'm ready and just start it up straight away. But yeah, it's not a straightforward, simple thing. It could be for some people, but for me, it's a little bit more tricky. I have to work a schedule around and do some practices. How long is it going to take me to make food and get, you know, set up camera angles. So then once I start it, I can just straight up just start making videos. That's why I do some practices. I think might be good as well too.
Cool. Well, at this point in the video, I usually ask, what are your socials and everything? But right now, you don't have any because we're talking about creating a new channel.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Or maybe by the time this video comes out, there might be something. So I'll just put all your socials here.
Yep.
Right here. So if you want to go check out Sagar, please do. Also, probably in the description as well, because I might link you to his channel down in the description.
Yeah.
And if the channel name changes at all, I can always just update the description. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Sagar, for joining as well. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
See ya.
Working title, casual chats with fellow creators.